6x10 option. It looks a little longer. Maybe it's 12, 6x12 maybe? 6x12? I like the color.
Yeah, I like the
gray. So when we bought our RV, we said we did a thing. We did another thing. So if you caught the previous short, or if you follow us on social media, then you know that we went enclosed cargo trailer shopping the other day. We were just supposed to be window shopping, but we ended up pulling the trigger, and ultimately we thought we just need to go do some initial research. We had thought about it before, we had kind of talked about it before, but we'd never stepped foot inside an actual unit to kind of better gauge the space with what we were thinking in terms of what we would be using this particular cargo trailer for. So we needed to do some homework, but when you go to a couple different places and there's a manager special going on, and you had done some price comparison, that day with other locations, the good deal sometimes just finds you. So we went ahead and pulled the trigger. We weren't quite ready to do it, but we thought we can be ready to do it. And at the end of the day, when it's a good deal, sometimes you just have to kind of go out on a limb and go for it a little bit. But when we get back home, we'll do an interior walkthrough, kind of talk a little bit about the plans for this, why we're doing this long term, what this can be used for, as well as a little bit of a timeline for what we're thinking in terms of the build out. So let's just get home safely now. So we got it home, got it unhooked. I need to double check some leveling, but the light's gonna be not great in here. Oh, these lights are connected to the truck lights, so that won't be on right now. But whilst we have an opportunity just to walk through, let's run some specs. But first, let's get into the why. So the why we were doing this. We live in two separate places, Monday through Friday, just the way our work takes us. So we had a house here, and there's the house in San Antonio. We sold the house here, but if you're familiar with the channel, then you've known that. We've been on a little bit of an adventure. We wanted to be mobile in the event there was something I could apply for. There really hasn't been a whole lot that where I wouldn't have had to take either a cut in the career or pay, or it just didn't quite seem like the right jive, like the right fit. So there really hasn't been a whole lot that I can apply for. Clothes are dispersed, tools are dispersed, our bike gear is dispersed. And the garage in San Antonio has an awful lot of stuff in it, but everything is just dispersed. We were having a conversation about bike tools and maintenance and having the right bike for the right ride. And so therefore we probably have 8 bikes total between the two of us. Each of us has a fat tire bike, each of us has a mountain bike, each of us has a gravel bike and a road bike. So we have multiple options, because you're not just gonna take the fat bike out for a road ride. You could, wouldn't suggest it, but we like doing that. So we want to invest in that hobby, but we didn't have a place where we could do the work. I lost our workshop when we sold the house here in the valley. That's okay. Now we have what we're hoping to be the mobile workshop. So let's do like a quick rundown of what we're thinking with that. So what do we think of first? Well, considering what it's going to be a workshop, tools, place that you can do things, tasks, projects. So I live in South Texas. It's going to need to be insulated and probably climate controlled. So the first step here is I'm going to pull these off, these connector, what do they call them? They're accent pieces, I guess. I want to see how much room is between this plywood and the actual metal. What I'm anticipating, and I'd love to be wrong, but I've seen a couple of videos where they pulled this accent piece off and the two pieces of plywood didn't quite join up together. Well, I may need to remove one piece of plywood and get that measurement. What do I need in terms of insulation for this space? And then I think that could be a project for the first year. At least one of the projects for the first year is insulating the entire unit around the walls and the sides. We will eventually insulate, obviously, the ceiling. This is metal, but I can't get too far ahead if I don't know where the AC is going to go, where things are going to be laid out, things of that nature. So after the insulation, we're going to move to the floors. Obviously, get a little bit of insulation on the floors, something that we don't mind spilling stuff on. It's kind of still sturdy, still looks okay with the aesthetic that we're going to go for in here, you know, as time goes by. But that'll be another project that I think that we can most likely do in the first year. It's got this V-nose up here, right? I think that's where the workbench is going to go. We haven't fully talked about it. Are we just going to build out from scratch? Is there like, I don't know, like a Husky tool chest? Because again, it's going to be like a workshop, right? Where are all the bike tools going to go? A Husky tool chest that we can put in here and then just build around for some storage on the sides and just all the way back to that nose. I don't know. We have options, right? We talked a little bit about potentially having a small wraparound here. It's an option too. So after the workbench, thinking about where the bikes are going to go, there are these tension bars, these tension rods. I have one in my truck where in the back of the bed, you're holding things in there with these tension rods and holding them in place. So we can remove that, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be permanent, but still move bikes in here. So Daniela found a tension rod that would go the width of this space, and it has these attachments for the tire of your bike to go in. And then if you alternate them front to back, we can get most, if not all, of our bikes in there at one point. Okay, if you have bikes in here, obviously we discussed tools and workshop space. You know, maybe along here, I think I saw something from Mr. Build It on YouTube. I really liked like a Rubbermaid bin, but heavier duty Rubbermaid bin storage shelving that he did. Might borrow that idea. We did something like that in our garage at our house that we built in. So you get the idea. We have an awful lot of options. Yeah, but speaking of those options, it's exciting. Maybe just a little bit overwhelming at the blank slate. The blank slate's really exciting, but maybe just a little overwhelming of a feeling with the blank slate. You could go in so many different ways. There's a lot of possibility. Ultimately, the reason though, I think mobile garage, mobile workshop that we lost with the house, specifically for thinking about things like our bikes and our hobby that we appreciate so much. And that's really what this is. And we'll be able to move tools from the garage and the RV. We'll be able to kind of put some of them together from the house in San Antonio, just so we aren't separating so much of our gear in this place or that place or a third place, or, hey, I'm looking for this tool. No, we took it up to San Antonio. Oh yeah, we did. Things like that, right? Things that, you know, you just make you feel, even when you're organized, just make you feel a little less organized. And that's always not a good feeling, you know. It's not a good feeling to feel kind of out of it and not knowing where things are at. It's a little bit harder when you have two separate spaces, and we've been dealing for that for 7 years. So it's not a problem. It's just we were noticing it a little bit more. I'm not going to give up RV life unless something catastrophic happens or just something life related happens. I'm not going to give up RV life until it's my time to leave the valley. Like I'm pretty sure about that. I like it. I like it too much. I like the simplicity of it, right? This just gets to be parked where we park our trucks, right next to us, in the space next to us, which we pay for. Obviously not full price, but we pay for it so we can park it here. But lots of options, and I'm not a carpenter, so a lot of raw authenticity will be coming through in this series of videos as we work through. I definitely am excited about the learning process. Probably get a little bit frustrated when I don't understand something and I can't see it. Like I can't see it yet. I can't see where the electrical outlets are going to go, so I can't go too far on the build. Like I can't do the roof until I know where the AC is going to go. Probably need some max vent air vent fans in here too. Like I just can't quite see it yet, so I got to get started, but I got to be careful to not go too far to have to undo some of the things that we've already done. So definitely a lot of raw authenticity when we're going through this build. We're going to take you guys along for it and make it a little bit of a mini series here on the channel. So if you like that kind of content, stick around, like and subscribe. That helps out the channel. But honestly, just sometimes even just simply showing up when you see that, when you see our videos pop on, even if you're not subscribed, just watching it and giving it a glance is going to help out the channel. If you're into it though and want to make sure you catch it, like and subscribe. Until next time, our motto is live life outside of the work that you do. This is definitely a part of that. Giving my brain something to do as we enter in the next calendar year where we're still living in a different place. It's still for the benefit of our financial situation in retirement and doing good things for us in that regard. It's just harder to do. So what do you need to do in the evenings? Something to keep your brain busy, After I finished before it was my dissertation, that was done. That was my leather work. I lost my workshop when I sold the house. When we sold the house, where all my leather was at. Guess what? Climate controlled. I can get that back. So there's a lot to look forward here. Stick around. And I know that I said it, but I like to end every video with, because it's the motto, it's the sentiment of this channel. Until next time, it's really so important that we remember to live life outside of what it is that we do every day. So live life outside of the work that you do.